Well, I guess it's 3 o'clock, and we'll get started. We have 2 more great, passionate sessions for you this afternoon, all about getting people to swim and also creating the beauty and the artistry that we need to make our backyards a relevant place for today's families. So those 2 things are going to be tackled in the next 2 sessions. Passion. Yesterday, when I was sitting in the instructor's workshop, a very energetic guy put a number of very pertinent quotes up on the screen, and one of them was from Simon Sinek. And he said, "Do what you love with a passion for growing someone else, and your rewards will follow." And I think that's very, very true. And Stevie put his hands up, who's our first speaker today. If we do that, if we do what you love with a passion for growing someone else, your rewards will follow. And that's really what we had in mind, the National Swimming Pool Foundation, when it created its Step Into Swim campaign in 2012. And that's the 10-year initiative Thomas talked about that has a goal of creating 1 million more swimmers. Since its inception, Step Into Swim seeks industry people, individuals, organizations who embrace the belief that by bringing more people to water, the industry will grow. Today we have with us 3 very worthy recipients of 2015 Step Into Swim grants, and they have tremendous stories to tell you. We're going to lead off with Stephen Little with his Swim to Win campaign, which was launched in 2011. Then we'll welcome Nichole Stephans, who is with the American Red Cross and in partnership with the New York Park Systems, which is a very exciting partnership. And we'll close out this session with retired Lieutenant Colonel Joe Lewis and his passion, which is Angels of America's Fallen. With that, and what we'll do is we'll hold questions until the end, and you can ask all 3 of them questions, and we'll just keep things rolling that way, since we only have an hour for these 3 exciting speakers. So please, Joe, or Steve, sorry.
I'll be Joe, that's right. Well, good afternoon. As you heard Lauren say, my name is Stephen Little. I'm not going to stand behind the lectern because that would make me feel comfortable. So I'm just going to stand out here in the open and do what I do best, and I'm going to connect with people. And so I was asked to speak this afternoon about a couple of things, about the market growth potential of creating more swimmers, which I think is an important topic, but also I was asked to speak about what we're doing at Swim to Win, which I think is an important topic, but most importantly, the thing that guides every decision I make is I was asked to talk about my values, and my values in what I'm doing and why I'm doing are largely shaped by my grandfather. I'm going to skip past that part of the story and tell you that I believe firmly in stewardship of community. It is something that guides every decision I make. I'm a steward of my community. So, I've run a pool business. I have a degree in chemistry. I'm a state licensed swimming pool contractor. I was a linguist in the Army. I've done a lot of things. I've run a pool business, but I never really found satisfaction after many, many years of doing this. I swam in college. I loved swimming, and I still love swimming. I'm a master's swimmer today. And so the evolution of Swim to Win was really this. I was on a pool deck in Palm Desert. Back in about 2010, I was teaching my daughter how to swim. I think my daughter was 6 or 7 at the time, and I watched a father in jest, jokingly, and I don't think there's any fathers in this room or anywhere on the planet that would knowingly hurt their child, but I watched a father in jest just jokingly shove his daughter into the swimming pool. And I saw this little girl's face awash with a terror that can never be explained, and I hope is never repeated. And I instantly launched into the pool and grabbed this little girl and pulled her out, and probably more melodramatic than it really needed to be, but I pulled this little girl out and she was terrified, and I realized she didn't know how to swim. And I realized at that moment, it was one of those pivot points in my life. I thought, I have the resources, I have the knowledge, I have the desire, and I have the drive, and I'm going to do something about it. So I started thinking about how I could have a profound, sustained, lasting impact on kids not knowing how to swim first in my community, because it really bothered me. And when I started looking at the statistics, I thought, wow, there's a lot of kids who don't know how to swim, and there's a lot of kids who are dying in swimming pools. And I called up my good friend, who is a 5-time gold medal Olympian, Janet Evans. And I said to Janet, I've got a problem and I want to solve it. I said, every child in America and eventually the world needs to learn how to swim. And I'm going to do it. No matter what it takes, I'm going to do it. And she said, Steve, you're crazy. I said, yeah, that's besides the point. Let's move on now. Okay, and so I said, Janet, this is what I really want to do. This is what I endeavor to do. And she then said, well, if we're going to do this, we need to get Rowdy involved. And I had worked with Rowdy on some other initiatives. And we got Rowdy Gaines involved. And we formed back in about 2011 Swim to Win. Swim to Win, about me, is connecting the dots between the obvious notion that swimming is winning. It's just that simple. It doesn't have to be more convoluted or more difficult than that. Swimming is winning. And by demonstrating the successful things that we need to be successful swimmers, I really believe that we demonstrate the successful components to having a successful life. And so Swim to Win. 2011, I decided to start this initiative. We're going to teach the whole world to swim. I thought, what can we do differently? You know, there's lots of people in this space teaching kids to swim, and there's lots of people that will come and they'll have a swimming lesson, they'll go away, and we're never going to find them. Those weren't meeting my goals. So I thought, what could we do differently? So now I have 2 Olympians, and I said, I'm going to connect the dots between the sport of swimming and the business of swimming. Largely, most of us here are in the business of swimming, and I wanted to connect those dots. Research indicates that there's tens of thousands of people involved in the business of swimming, and there's less than that involved in the sport of swimming. But I don't hear many people in the sport of swimming talking about the business of swimming, and likewise, I didn't hear many people in the business of swimming talking about the sport of swimming, so I wanted to connect those dots, so I asked some friends and associates and some Olympians, and we got together and started doing this. At our first clinic, we had 8 Team USA Olympians representing 35 gold medals. And we had 3,500 children show up in 2012, our first clinic in Palm Desert, California. And we spent all day teaching kids to swim. And my takeaway from that clinic, and we then moved into the community afterwards, and we continued swimming lessons throughout the year. My takeaway from that clinic largely was my friend Janet Evans, who got up on the stage and she said, when I was 3 years old, this is where I learned to swim. And the most important part of that was everybody who has learned to swim or successfully had a swimming career or swam can always say, this is where I learned to swim. This is what started that. So to address the market growth potential of this, we are growing our own customers selfishly. We're creating more swimmers now. They're going to buy our products in 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 years. So for a long-term plan, we're growing our own customers now. We're embracing something as beautiful as giving a child the gift of swimming, an essential life skill, and we're giving it to them at a young age, and they're going to take that and they're going to know about that for all of time. You know, I can't think of any sport where as many centurions are involved in that sport still today. And I was talking to a friend of mine named Bruce Wiego from Ishoff, and he reminded me that Adolf Kiefer is still alive today. He's 98 years old. He can't walk. He's either in a bed or in a wheelchair, but every day he swims. So I really think that demonstrates from our birth to the end of our lives that swimming is a key component to an essential life skill. And to address market growth, by teaching kids to swim, they're going to know where they started from, and they're going to be able to go back and remember where they learned to swim, and it's going to be a part of that. Swim to Win has evolved throughout the many years. We've hosted many clinics around the country now, and we're really an organization that connects the dots. And so what I like to say is, what are we doing differently? What kind of things do we do that other organizations aren't doing, and how can we have a positive impact on creating more swimmers? And then finally, I'd like to address Step Into Swim and its important contribution to the Swim to Win initiative that I started these years ago. So some of the things that we're doing differently is I'm looking for creative solutions. This past year, we're entering into an Olympic year, and it's going to be hard for me to get a bunch of Olympians. Last year, we had 18 Olympians in our clinic. This year, I'm faced with the reality that a lot of the Olympians are going to be off in Rio, representing Team USA, and they're not going to be here. And so I started to sit down and think, what can we do differently this year, and what can we do differently from what we've done in the past? And I started to create ideas. What are we going to do to harvest some of these children, get these children into some formal education swimming programs? So we created an initiative, Swim to Win, in 2015, where we partnered with insurance companies and HOAs, and we've gone to HOAs. And we said to the HOAs, it's in your best interest to have kids that are swimmers because we're reducing the number of preventable drowning deaths. And the insurance companies said, of course, that's in our best interests. We're going to reduce preventable drowning deaths. And I go, but we need to know who you're insuring. And then we need to create an incentive for those that you're insuring to want their kids to get into these swimming programs. So we've now been in the last 10 months, 12 HOAs in my community, in my market, where the insurance companies have given us the contact information and the residents' names of what they're insuring in these HOAs. We're going in, we're using Red Cross, WSIs, and LGIs, which are water safety instructors and lifeguard instructors, and we're creating these swimming programs to combat transportation issues in the residents' communities. So we're taking Red Cross instructors into the communities, and we're doing formal Red Cross safety programs in the HOAs and complexes. We've given about 650 children in 2015 in the Coachella Valley, Southern California, 8 swimming lessons over 4 weeks. Another thing that we're doing is we recognize that largely in other parts of the world, swimming is a very formal activity, and it's part of a required education at a younger age than what the United States is doing. So we've said to other organizations who are willing to pay for swimming lessons and who are willing to go out there and say, we think swimming is as important as you do, but they say, we can't solve the problem. We can't get the swimmers to pool this way. We can't do this. We go, what are the problems? How can we address them? So I look at my organization as one that is creative to address these problems. Desert Recreation District in the Coachella Valley has some money, and they want to teach all of the 4th graders and 3rd graders how to swim in the entire Coachella Valley as part of their formal education. But they said that they're limited, they can't pay for transportation. So what Steve did, what I did is I went in and said, okay, we'll find sponsors, we'll pay for transportation, you pay for the swimming lessons. We've now entered year 2 where every 3rd grader in the Coachella Valley has swimming lessons as part of their formal education. So for me to recap, market potential, or market growth potential, we're creating swimmers at an early age. We're identifying things that are very important for those swimmers. We're identifying what the problems are that are preventing swimmers from becoming swimmers, and then we're creating solutions, creative solutions to get those kids out there in the pool. And then one would go, okay, well, we have swimmers. We give them 8 weeks of lessons or 8 lessons, and we're teaching them to swim. How can we retain them in swimming? How can we promote that healthy life choice of continuing to swim? I can state here today that we have presided over the largest expansion in competitive swim teams of any market in the, certainly California, I would say the United States. In 18 months, 350% growth in our competitive swim teams. And so there are more kids now on our competitive swim teams than have ever been in the history of the Coachella Valley. So we're giving them a reason, we're inspiring them, we're removing the obstacles and barriers, and then we're teaching them to swim. And then we're getting them involved on competitive swim teams, which is indicative of that healthy lifestyle that's going on and on and on. So Swim to Win is an initiative. We started it 2011, and we've done good. And one of our stalwart partners has been the National Swimming Pool Foundation and the Step Into Swim campaign. I've heard other people talk about grants and how hard it is to get grants when you're new. And when you have this idea, and when you're the crazy guy out there, all I can do is talk. And I would say to you that the National Swimming Pool Foundation stood beside us as a partner and said to us, we believe in what you're doing, we support what you're doing, and we want to be a part of your success. And 3 years now, they've supported the Swim to Win initiative, and they've done some amazing things with us. I had the pleasure of our CEO coming out to California and being at one of our clinics, and he volunteered with us all day long and helped register kids and get kids into the water. And that was last year, and he was able to come see what we were doing out in California, and we've done it again, and we've now spread the word, and we've replicated some of these little programs in other states in the country, and we have some big plans for the future. And we want to thank the National Swimming Pool Foundation, but none of this would be possible, none of this, unless someone was willing to take a risk. unless the National Swimming Pool Foundation was willing to take a risk on a guy like me and a program that was untested and unproven, unless I was willing to take a risk and give $5 to the National Swimming Pool Foundation to their Step Into Swim campaign, even though I'd never heard of it, I thought it was a good idea. None of this would have been possible, and I'm asking you guys, as you go out in your businesses and you leave this conference tomorrow and you go home, to realize that as aquatics professionals, we have to be risk takers. And if we want to solve a problem, we all know the problem. Kids are dying in swimming pools. And we all know the cure. It's really simple. Swimming lessons are it. And if we create more swimmers, we create more market potential for ourselves. So it's really simple. We just want to connect the dots between the problem and the cure. We want to apply the cure to the problem. And if it's a $5 contribution or a $10 contribution, or if it's contributing $1 million, then we need to apply the problem to the cure. And the way we can do it as aquatics professionals is through the good work of the Step Into Swim campaign and the National Swimming Pool Foundation. And so that's my presentation. That's what Swim to Win is all about, and that's who I am, and that's what we're doing, and we hope to be doing it for many, 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 many more years. And we're going to have some more clinics soon. So.
Thank you so very much. And we'll welcome Nichole.
Everyone. Do I have a clicker? Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Nichole Stephans. I'm the Aquatic Product Manager for the American Red Cross. I work on product development for swimming and water safety and our lifeguarding program. I'm really excited to be here today to talk to you about one of the programs that has been very close to my heart. When I started with the Red Cross 5 years ago, I started in the greater New York area. So I want to talk to you about our partnership with the New York State Parks and SPF. This is a partnership that we launched in 2013 through generous funding from NESPA and the National Swimming Pool Foundation as part of the Step Into Swim program. And our goal in 2013 was to bring free swimming and water safety training to children in the New York City area that wouldn't otherwise be able to take swimming classes. As we started to identify our facilities, we took a look at the facilities that offer Red Cross swimming lessons that could have a self-sustainable program. Right? We've all heard you can teach a man to fish and he'll eat for life, or you can give him a fish and he'll eat for a day. So that's really the model that we were looking at. We thought about coming in and delivering Learn to Swim training, but we really wanted to create a self-sustaining water safety ecosystem for these pools. So we chose the Roberto Clemente State Park, which is in the Bronx, and the Riverbank State Park. So I'm gonna show you a video now, and I can talk all day about swimming and water safety, but it's really powerful to hear it from the students and the caregivers.
Hi, this is Josh Lockwood. I'm the Regional CEO for the American Red Cross here in Greater New York. And today we are here at Roberto Clemente State Park in the Bronx, where we are proudly launching a program to teach 500 kids aged 6 to 12 to learn to swim in partnership with the state and some other great organizations. At the American Red Cross, we know that a leading killer of children is accidental drowning. Kids under 14 years old face drowning as the second leading cause of death. At the American Red Cross, we partner with organizations across the country to teach 2 million people to swim every year. And across the city, beyond these 500 kids, we teach 30,000 kids per year to learn to swim.
If these classes weren't offered for free, these children wouldn't be here today to participate in these swimming lessons.
Thank you. God bless you. We appreciate it. It's a great thing for our community. Thank you very much.
It's an incredibly important effort as we seek to save lives and alleviate human suffering here in the greater New York region. Thank you for your support.
So what I want to point out about that video, I don't know if you noticed there was a building in the background. Did you all see that? That's Nichole housing. That's New York City subsidized housing. Directly across the street from this swimming pool is an elementary school. This pool happened to be the perfect facility for us to deliver programs in our first year because it was accessible. We had the children, we had easy access to the parents, we didn't have to worry about transportation. We were also able to access the pool of individuals that New York State Parks had working for them. It's sometimes challenging to find individuals that are willing and able to become certified water safety instructors to teach the programs, but they had a great pool of already trained lifeguards. So we used the funding in our first year to train 10 of their lifeguards as Red Cross certified water safety instructors. So that was in 2013. Fast forward to 2015, we've seen statewide expansion. We've moved the program throughout the state to 15 New York State parks, and these aren't just pools, these are lakes, pools, waterfronts throughout the state. Looking at 2016 and beyond, I actually had the opportunity a couple weeks ago to meet with Rose Harvey, who's the New York State Parks and Rec Commissioner. This program has been recognized, and there's a lot of senior leadership in New York State that's looking in this program and looking at the success of the program. It's actually been added to the governor's initiative for 2016 to expand from 15 pools to 30 pools statewide, pools and lakes, which is really exciting. We have some confirmed locations for 2016, Delta Lake State Park, Gilbert Lake State Park, Gimmerglass, Mine Hill, and Verona Beach State Park. So now I want to talk a little bit about our Centennial Initiative. Connie Harvey is usually, I think a lot of you probably know Connie Harvey. She's our Centennial Director, and she usually represents the Red Cross at this conference. She couldn't be here this week, but Connie last year launched our Centennial Campaign, and the Centennial Campaign was to celebrate the 100-year anniversary of the Red Cross offering swimming and water safety classes. The goal with the Centennial Campaign is to bring swimming and water safety training to 50 communities throughout the United States and ultimately teach 50,000 kids over the next 5 years to swim, right? And we don't just want to come in one day or 1 week and teach these kids how to swim. We really want to create a self-sustaining ecosystem so that when we leave, these communities are prepared to deliver successful programming. So to date, we've trained over 16,000 children and adults in swimming and water safety, over 165 lifeguards trained, 121 water safety instructors trained. We're in 147 aquatic facilities in 34 communities, and this is year 2 of the program. So I have one more video about the Centennial program. You'll get to hear Connie Harvey and see some of the other participants from the program.
It's been just over a year since the American Red Cross launched the Aquatic Centennial Campaign. This is a 5-year effort to help reduce the drowning rate by 50% in 50 communities around the nation where drowning rates or the numbers of drownings are high. I recently visited a few of the sites to see how things are going.
Like really fun. Yeah. Because you get to do like glides and floats and swimming underwater. Yeah. Without life jackets, it's like really fun.
Yeah. Teaching people how to swim is key to achieving our goal. Through Red Cross training partners, thousands of people, mostly kids, who would not otherwise have the opportunity, are learning to swim.
You know, some parents can't afford to give their kids lessons. Some parents don't have time to bring their kids to lessons. So we're here helping them get better.
I just saw you swim all the way across the water by yourself. How did that make you feel?
Happy.
Yeah.
Good. I know how to swim now.
Very good.
American Red Cross water safety instructors are the front line in this effort to reduce drowning.
Look, there you go. You did it all by yourself.
When they learned the stroke and they said, I got it, and you took them from who couldn't swim to now can swim, that's a proud moment. That's why I love doing this. I love teaching. It's the best thing.
Water safety instructors are also arming their students with water safety knowledge and skills.
Most importantly, we learned about Safety Day.
Yeah.
I think the main one was when we used life jackets.
Oh, okay, so tell me about the life jacket. Why did you think that was so cool?
Because, like, people like Anderson can't swim yet.
Yeah.
And the life jacket helps them stay above water.
The sites I visited represent a small sample of the Centennial Campaign that is underway in 147 pools in 34 communities across 12 states. When you witness the excitement, pride, and confidence in these children who are gaining these critical life skills and their instructors, there is no doubt the Centennial Campaign is making an impact.
They are the future. They are the future lifeguards. When they take these lessons, they are the future Red Cross people.
At first, I didn't know how to swim,
Yeah.
and they taught me how to swim, and I passed my swimming test. I've never been in ninth grade because I never knew how to swim until now. Now, every time when I go to the pool, I can hang out with my friends in the deep end.
So it's just so incredibly powerful. I mean, it moves me every time. I cannot get tired of going on site to visit these programs and see just the pride and the excitement and the joy in these children and the parents as well. Because, right, the Centennial Campaign isn't just about teaching kids how to swim. We're also teaching adults. Of that 6,000 participants that we've trained over the last 2 years, we've trained over 1,000 adults. And we're doing that to help break the cycle, because we know that adults that don't know how to swim, chances are their children won't learn how to swim. And so I have to thank the NSPF staff and the Step Into Swim campaign for helping us make this connection with New York City, because what started in 2013 as a 2-pool program with a goal of training 500 kids a year how to swim has grown into what will be 30 pools in 2016. And they're now part of the Centennial program. And the great thing about the Centennial program is we give each individual facility what they need to self-sustain. And each facility has different needs, right? So in New York City, they don't have instructor trainers, right? They need people to come in and train the instructors. They need lifeguarding instructors and water safety instructors. In places upstate, they have access to instructor trainers. They can deliver the training, but they may need some support with materials. So we're able to help them with that as part of the Centennial campaign. So I'm going to leave you with a couple of photos of some of the 15 pools that we served in 2015 as part of the campaign. Thank you.
Thank you, Nichole. Special call out too, Nichole had mentioned that the Step Into Swim helped, as well as our partners, the Northeast Pool and Spa Association, who contributed as well through their foundation. Joe?
First, I got to find the pointer. Clicker. Thank you. Which one does it? Just the left and right? Okay. Meet Landon. Landon's the son of Marine Lance Corporal Andrew Carpenter. Lance Corporal Carpenter was shot in Afghanistan on Valentine's Day in 2011, and Landon was born 3 weeks after his father passed. His mom, Chrissy, placed him on his father's uniform because that was as close as she could get him to his father. Children like Landon have to grow up without the guidance of their fallen parent, but they don't have to go through it alone. I'm Joe Lewis, founder and CEO of Angels of America's Fallen, and I'm going to share an opportunity with you today that's a win-win situation for the aquatic community and for the children of our fallen. I had the opportunity to serve in our military for 25 years, in the Army as a field artillery cannon crewman, in the Marine Corps as a fighter pilot, in the Air Force as a reconnaissance pilot, and I worked closely with the Navy, the Coast Guard, and federal, state, and local law enforcement. I had the benefit of working with some tremendous people and I got to live an adrenaline junkie's dream, and I'm fortunate to be here to support my sons. Many of my friends weren't that fortunate. I lost friends in every service. Many of them had very young children. Some of them had children on the way, children like Landon who would never get to meet their father. My concern for those children is what drove me to research what opportunities for support are available for the children of our fallen. According to DoD statistics, there's over 16,000 children who've lost a military parent since 9/11/2001. To put that number into perspective, if you were to meet one child of our fallen every day, one per day, it would take 43.8 years to meet all of them since 9/11/2001. The average age of the children at the time of their parents' death is just 7 years old. What I found primarily in support for these kids were organizations that provided scholarships for when the kids were adults and heading off to college, or some limited private school tuition, week-long summer camps, and some fun outings. These are all wonderful things, but they didn't address the long-term gap in developmental support the children needed while they're growing up without their biggest mentor. Additionally, many of those organizations didn't support children whose parents didn't pass in combat. So those whose parents had passed from suicide, from PTSD, from training accidents, or from illnesses were excluded. To the child, it's 100% loss of mom or dad, regardless of the cause, and their mom or dad volunteered in a high-risk profession to protect our country and our community. I knew we could and we should do better as a nation, so I formed Angels of America's Fallen in 2012 as a 501c3 public charity, and we worked to fill that gap in developmental support for the children by engaging them in healthy activities, so the child is actually writing their own story of success regardless of their loss. We pay for the child to participate in the activity of their choice: music, sports, arts, something that has a coach or an instructor that can provide some of the guidance the children are missing. And the child picks their particular level or activity of interest, and of course, water sports are really high on their list. And, looking at this photo, this is Dylan and his swimming instructor, and everybody in this room obviously gets that swimming provides a lifetime of enjoyment and health benefits, and the sooner we can engage the children in this, the better off they're going to be. In 2014, we did a study of our children and their parents and did pre- and post-participation surveys, and we saw an increase of 115% in the child becoming more outgoing, a 60% increase in overall happiness, and a 55% increase in the child's confidence level. What we provide is more than just paying for the activity. We're actually honoring the child's loss. We're recognizing that their sacrifice is ongoing. They receive their own individualized dog tag, a challenge coin, stickers, and a letter from me to every child explaining how we honor their parent, how we recognize their loss, how we want to be there for them throughout the entire time they're growing up, and that they matter to us. We want to know how they're doing. We want to know how they like their activity. Is it what fits their interests now? Maybe they've changed, like Rowdy, where it took a while to find their fit. We encourage that. We want them to be in something, and if they didn't find the fit, we want them to go out and try and find that. The only limit to us being able to provide this to more children is a lack of funding. So when we met Tom and were introduced to the National Swimming Pool Foundation, that was a joyous moment, because at the time we had 170 children on our waiting list, and through funds that were specific to pay for water activities, we were able to contact 22 of these kids who have been on the waiting list and say, we can get you into water sports right now. One of those is Tanner, and Tanner is 16 years old, and he wrote a thank you note to us. And it says, the assistance from Angels of America's Fallen in paying for my monthly tuition for competitive swim has been a blessing. It allows me to stay focused on my mission of becoming a better swimmer and helps my entire family financially. Your support in honor of my dad, Chief Warrant Officer 3, Michael Hartwick Jr., reminds me that even though he's gone, his legacy is still here, helping me every day to become the man he would want me to be. This is 6-year-old Caitlin Gonzalez. We were also able to help her because of funds from the Step Into Swim campaign. Caitlin's father, Air Force Master Sergeant Martin Gonzalez, was as fine and dedicated as an individual as you can know, and I know because I supervised him before I retired. About a year after I formed Angels of America's Fallen, Gonzo was killed in an aircraft crash, and it hurts me that his children won't have the benefit of his guidance and leadership while they're growing up. Every family we support has a sad story of loss, but we focus on joy, possibilities in the future. And you can see the smile on Caitlin's face. She's in swimming and she loves it. And I've got a video of some of our other children we've been able to support this year because of funds from the Step Into Swim campaign, and I'll go ahead and play that for you now. Maybe. Could you cue the video, please?
Awesome thing about Angels of American Fallen is they will not just support you for a short period of time, they will support you from birth on till age 18.
They do look like your goggles.
They pay for his swim lessons right now, and he loves it because he gets to do something he loves, and he knows he gets to do that because of his daddy. It's just so much fun that I see how much he loves it, and he's so excited when I tell him, he's like, that's your swim lesson. He's like, yay. It's like, great, let's go.
There it is. There it is. Whoa, you figured it out towards the end there, didn't you? It looked like it got a lot easier, huh?
Why do you like swimming so much?
Because I want to be a scuba diver.
And why do you want to be a scuba diver?
Because I want to be like my dad.
It's just a joy to see him learning something new, what we might have not be able to afford before. He gets to do that because of you guys, because of the organization, because of what his daddy did, and so he just loves it. It makes him happy.
No premature. Good job. Swimming. Swim.
Hi, my name is Gabriella Bowen, and I just wanted to say thank you. I love swimming, and I almost go to the pool every day during summer. Thanks to you, I can take more swimming classes and learn new things. Hi, my name is Caitlin. Thank you for my swimming classes. Watch me swim.
Well, through Angels of American Fallen, I really like scuba.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you can see the joy and the happiness, and there is the sadness in the stories, and you saw some of the information about the kids, but we really believe Tom has created a model for a win-win solution. By creating a funding stream to get these children engaged in healthy swimming water sports, you're not just helping the child, you're also helping the pool and spa industry. Engaging these children in this fantastic outlet creates more demand now and in the future for products related to water sports. And it's something that's great for socially responsible companies to be able to do. A study in 2013 by Cone Communication indicated that 82% of US consumers look at a company's corporate social responsibility when determining which products and service to buy. And of course, mothers and millennials are very in tune to this. The need for the support after 14 years of war and multiple deployments is huge. When we first started the organization and we opened our registration, word of mouth went from spouse to spouse of our fallen, and we had many more applicants than we could support. We had to close the registration window, and we've been working to try to get through that waiting list ever since. Almost every day, we're telling a new family the registration window still isn't open. It's an important thing. A study done by USC indicated that children of our military are 7% more likely to attempt suicide. There's a national bereavement study that's being done now because there weren't public statistics on children of our fallen up until this point. That's not released yet, but I can tell you that I personally know a 9-year-old girl who attempted suicide this year following in the footsteps of her father, who succumbed to the invisible wounds of PTSD. We don't want to lose a single child because their parent gave all for our country. You've got a tremendous opportunity to have a very positive impact in the lives of these children. You've already been doing it. The National Swimming Pool Foundation, Tom, Rose, and the rest of the staff has been amazing because this model is something we believe that's very powerful for the children and for the industry, and it's something that we want to build and expand upon. You can support us by telling others within your industry about this, by donating through the Step Into Swim campaign, and just by, in general, sharing our information, asking questions, and getting other people to think, what are we doing for the children in the meantime? Thank you.
Joe,
Yes.
Please stand up there for 1 second. Okay. I want to invite Bobby Blanda up to the stage, a board member of the Northeast Pool and Spa Association's foundation. He wants to make a very special presentation to you. Go ahead, Bob. Bob, you might want this.
Lauren. Thank you, Tom. Wow, that was powerful.
It's sad, but it's very good. I'd like to say that. There's an awful lot of joy in this.
I'm here representing the NESPA, the Northeast Pool and Spa Association Foundation. We're the operators of the Atlantic City Pool and Spa Show. And our foundation is here to thank you for what you do and to present you a check for $8,500 for the Angels of America's Fallen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions of our 3 wonderful presenters today on Step Into Swim?
Do you want me to go back up there or sit?
I don't know. Any questions?
Okay.
Comments?
I had the chance last night, Tom and I, or Joe and I, we were at the hotel and missed the bus. And you haven't heard the stories about the parents and the families. When you saw the kids and the results, but geez, when you hear them, when Joe tells you the story of each of the parents, the soldiers, and what the families went through, it is incredible. These kids need help, and Joe, what you're doing is unbelievable.
Thank you. It's an honor. Great.
My name is Sue Tudem. I live in Yucca Valley, California. We are very close to the 29 Palms Marine Base.
Yes.
We have many spouses of fallen heroes. I would like to know how to make connection with them so that we can sign their kids up for free swim lessons at our facility.
That would be great. I'll stand up so you can see. That would be great. I've got some brochures. I'll give you one of them, and I've got my card as well. And that's a wonderful thing, and that's exactly it. We've got some kids who would love to be in swimming or be in other activities, and they can't register because we don't have the resources. Creating a method to have that available allows us to reach out and pull in these children in areas that they would otherwise be waiting. So I can get the information to you, and we love to do that. I grew up in 29 Palms. My father's a Marine as well, so I love the dirt and the rocks and the lizards, and love to do that. I love the water too. Yeah.
Any other comments? Then please, let's give a round of applause to these wonderful, passionate people.